If you've noticed your arms feeling weaker when you carry groceries, or your legs burning out quicker on the stairs, you're not imagining it. That creeping weakness is one of the clearest signs that your muscles are shrinking, and it happens to millions of people after 60. Scientists call it sarcopenia, but you might call it losing your strength. And here's the hard truth. If nothing changes, the average adult can lose up to a quarter of their muscle by the time they hit 70. But here's the good news. You don't have to accept it. There is a simple daily habit, so quick it takes less than 2 minutes, that can dramatically slow down that muscle decline. It doesn't require a gym membership, it doesn't require expensive powders or complicated routines, and it doesn't require you to change your entire lifestyle. It's as simple as pairing 2 nutrients, protein and magnesium, at the right time of day, in the right way. Why am I so confident about this? Because researchers are finding that when older adults make this one small change, they not only hold onto their muscle, but they also feel steadier when walking, climb stairs with less fatigue, and even report sleeping deeper at night. Imagine regaining the confidence to walk long distances without fear of wobbling, or picking up your grandchild without feeling drained. That's the power of this habit. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly why protein and magnesium are the secret team your muscles have been waiting for, how they work together like bricks and builders, and most importantly, how you can start using this nightly ritual tonight. By the end, you'll walk away with a clear, step-by-step action plan that fits right into your life. Let's get into it. Now, before we dive into the science and the exact steps, I want to set the record straight. Everything I'm about to share with you is grounded in peer-reviewed research and clinical guidance from aging and nutrition experts. I've sifted through the studies, from randomized controlled trials on protein intake in older adults to long-term population studies showing how magnesium levels predict muscle strength. You're not getting social media myths here, you're getting strategies that real clinicians recommend. But here's something you need to know up front. Results don't come overnight, and they won't look the same for everyone. Some of you might notice more energy in a week, while others may take a month before feeling stronger when climbing stairs. Consistency is the real medicine here. The people who stick with these small habits day after day are the ones who protect their strength the longest. And of course, this is general education, not personal medical advice. If you live with chronic kidney disease, heart conditions, or take prescription medications, you need to check with your healthcare provider before making big changes in your diet or supplements. Think of this video as your roadmap, but your doctor is still the one helping you steer safely. All right, with that said, let's talk about the silent problem no one explains clearly enough. Sarcopenia, or age-related muscle loss, and why it matters more than wrinkles or gray hair. Let's be honest, most people fear wrinkles and gray hair when they think about aging. But the real silent thief of independence is sarcopenia, the steady decline of muscle tissue that starts as early as your 42nd and speeds up after 60. By the time most people reach their 72nd, they've lost so much muscle mass that simple things like rising from a chair, lifting a suitcase, or catching themselves after a stumble become a daily struggle. Here's the kicker. Sarcopenia doesn't just steal your strength, it steals your safety. Weak muscles mean slower reflexes, poorer balance, and a much higher risk of falls. And falls, for adults over 65, are the leading cause of fractures and long hospital stays. One fracture can turn an independent person into someone who suddenly needs help just to get dressed. But this isn't inevitable. Muscle is what we call metabolically active tissue. That means it's not just for strength, it also burns calories, balances blood sugar, and even protects your brain by keeping inflammation lower. So when you lose muscle, you don't just lose strength, you lose resilience in every system of your body. Picture your muscles like a retirement savings account. In your 22nd and 32nd, you were adding deposits without thinking, climbing stairs, carrying heavy bags, playing sports. But once you hit your 52nd and 62nd, those deposits slow down, while the withdrawals caused by aging, hormonal shifts, and inactivity start piling up. If you don't keep depositing, that account runs dry, And here's the part that should wake you up. Sarcopenia can progress silently for years before you notice. You might think, I'm just getting older, that's normal. But weakness, fatigue, and that unsteady feeling after a long walk aren't just old age. They're warning signs that your muscle bank account is running low. The good news? Unlike wrinkles or gray hair, sarcopenia can be slowed down and even partly reversed with the right combination of nutrition and movement. And that's exactly where protein and magnesium come in, the two simplest deposits you can make to protect your muscle savings starting tonight. Now, let's talk protein, the single most underrated tool in your health toolbox after age 60. You've heard it all your life. Eat enough protein to build muscle. But here's the twist. As you get older, your body stops responding to protein the way it did when you were younger. Scientists call this anabolic resistance. In plain terms, your muscles need a louder signal to grow and repair. When you were 25, 15 grams of protein in a meal, say, a couple of eggs was enough to trigger muscle building. But by 65, your body might ignore that same amount. Studies show older adults need closer to 25, 30 grams of high-quality protein per meal just to get the same effect. That's about a palm-sized portion of chicken, a cup of cottage cheese, or 2 cups of Greek yogurt. Here's the shocking part. Surveys reveal that nearly half of adults over 60 don't hit even the bare minimum of protein each day. They'll have toast for breakfast, a sandwich for lunch, and maybe soup or pasta for dinner, barely any protein, and certainly not evenly spread throughout the day. The result? Muscles quietly starve, weaken, and shrink. But when older adults do boost their protein intake, the benefits show up fast. A randomized trial found that seniors who ate around 90 grams of protein daily, split across 3 meals, gained strength, walked faster, and even reported better energy levels within 12 weeks. That's the kind of change you can feel in your everyday life. And protein doesn't just protect muscle, it helps stabilize blood sugar, keeps you full longer so you're less tempted by sugary snacks, and supports healing when you've had an injury or surgery. Think of protein as both your body's construction material and its insurance policy. So here's the takeaway. If you're over 60, protein is no longer optional, it's the foundation. But before you go out and just load up on meat, let me explain why protein alone isn't enough. There's a missing co-star that determines whether your muscles can actually use the protein you eat, and that nutrient is magnesium. Now, let's shine a light on the nutrient hardly anyone talks about, yet almost everyone over 60 is missing magnesium. You've heard of calcium for bones, vitamin D for immunity, but magnesium? It's the quiet workhorse. Without it, your muscles can't properly use the protein you eat, and your energy system sputters. Here's the simple truth. Magnesium is involved in more than 300 biochemical reactions in your body, and one of its most important jobs is turning food into usable energy, what scientists call ATP. Think of protein as the bricks for your muscle, and magnesium as the crew that actually stacks those bricks into place. Without the crew, the bricks just sit there. And it gets even more serious. Magnesium helps regulate muscle contraction and relaxation. That means low levels don't just slow down repair, they can trigger cramps, restless legs at night, even that Charlie horse that wakes you up in pain. No wonder studies show that seniors with low magnesium have weaker grip strength, slower walking speed, and higher fall risk. So where do you find it? Foods like pumpkin seeds, almonds, spinach, black beans, and even dark chocolate are great sources. But here's the kicker. Modern diets are stripping magnesium away. Processed grains, refined oils, and even water treatment remove much of the natural magnesium that past generations got every day. That's why estimates suggest 60-70% of adults over 60 don't meet the daily recommended intake. And the consequences aren't small. Low magnesium has been linked to higher rates of type 2 diabetes, heart arrhythmias, and poor sleep. So when your body is already fighting anabolic resistance, skipping magnesium is like trying to rebuild your house while leaving half the workers at home. This is why pairing protein with magnesium-rich foods becomes such a powerful strategy. The two nutrients work together. Protein gives your body the building blocks, and magnesium makes sure those blocks get used efficiently. And when you time them right, especially before bed, you can literally give your muscles the overnight repair team they've been begging for. So let's put these pieces together and talk about the real magic, the synergy of protein plus magnesium, and why this duo is more powerful than either nutrient alone. Now we get to the heart of it. The real magic happens when protein and magnesium come together. On their own, they're useful, but together, they act like a tag team that supercharges your muscle health, energy, and even your sleep. Here's the science in plain English. Protein delivers amino acids, the raw material your body uses to repair and grow muscle fibers. Magnesium, on the other hand, activates the enzymes that drive protein synthesis. If protein is the bricks and magnesium is the crew, this combination is the actual construction site. The walls go up, the repairs get made, the structure holds strong, and research backs this up. Small but fascinating pilot studies show that older adults who paired higher protein intake with adequate magnesium had measurably stronger muscles and better walking endurance compared to those who focused on protein alone. In fact, one observational study found seniors with healthy magnesium levels had a 20-30% lower risk of frailty over time, even if their protein intake wasn't perfect. That's how powerful this mineral is. But here's the kicker. Magnesium doesn't just help protein work, it also improves sleep quality. And you already know that deep sleep is when your muscles do most of their repair work. So by combining protein and magnesium before bed, you're essentially giving your body both the building blocks and the recovery window it needs to rebuild stronger muscles overnight. Think about what that means in real life. Instead of waking up stiff and tired, you wake up steadier, more energized, and ready to move. Instead of dragging yourself through the day with weak legs, you feel a spring that hasn't been there in years. That's not hype, that's how the body works when you fuel it properly. So now the big question becomes, how do you actually do this at home in under 2 minutes without fancy supplements or complicated routines? Let me show you the simple nightly ritual that makes this practical for anyone. Here's where it all comes together, the part you can actually do tonight. I call this the 2-minute nightly ritual, and it's designed to make your muscles stronger while you sleep. No gym, no pills you don't need, no complicated recipes, just a simple pairing of protein and magnesium-rich foods before bed. Here's the step-by-step. Step 1. Choose your protein. You need around 20-25 grams. That's a cup of Greek yogurt, half a cup of cottage cheese, a boiled egg plus a glass of soy milk, or even a small piece of grilled fish if you prefer savory. These aren't exotic, these are everyday foods that are easy to prepare. Step 2, add your magnesium partner. This is where you sprinkle in the construction crew. A handful of pumpkin seeds, a square of 80% dark chocolate, a scoop of black beans, or a small spinach sauté. Even 1-2 tablespoons of almonds will do the trick. Step 3, time it right. Eat this combo about 60-90 minutes before you go to bed. Why? Because that gives your body time to digest, release amino acids into your bloodstream, and let magnesium calm your muscles and nervous system. That means you're repairing while you drift off, and you wake up with less stiffness and more strength. Now, let me be crystal clear. This isn't about eating a heavy meal at night. You don't need a plate of steak or a huge shake before bed. Keep it light, keep it simple, keep it consistent. 2 minutes is all it takes to prepare this. And here's the kicker. You can mix and match so you never get bored. Yogurt with pumpkin seeds, cottage cheese with a little dark chocolate grated on top, soy milk blended with spinach and banana for a quick smoothie. The combinations are endless, but the principle is the same. Protein plus magnesium equals overnight repair. Do this every night for 30 days, and you'll be amazed at the changes. People report steadier legs on their morning walks, fewer nighttime cramps, and even better energy in the afternoon. It's not flashy, it's not complicated, but it works. Of course, even the best rituals can be undone if you make a few common mistakes. So before you run off to the kitchen, let me warn you about the pitfalls that could sabotage your results. Before you start, let's clear up the traps that could rob you of results, because even the best nightly ritual won't work if you unknowingly sabotage it. Mistake 1, skipping protein at breakfast. Many people think, I'll just load up on protein at dinner. Wrong approach. Your body can only use so much at once. If you skip protein in the morning, you waste precious opportunities to keep your muscles fed. That means the nightly ritual works better if you've already spread protein evenly across the day. Mistake number 2, relying on powder alone. Protein powders can be helpful, but if they're your only source, you miss out on the vitamins, minerals, and fiber in whole foods. A shake now and then, fine, but don't turn it into your entire plan. Mistake number 3, mega-dosing magnesium. Some people hear magnesium helps muscles and then pop giant supplement pills. That's a recipe for disaster. Too much magnesium at once can cause diarrhea, dehydration, and in people with kidney issues, dangerous imbalances. Food sources are safer and give you steady levels. Supplements should only be used under medical supervision. Mistake number 4, adding sugar. Beware of flavored yogurts or protein desserts that sneak in added sugar. That sugar spike not only cancels out the muscle benefits, but it can also wreck your sleep. Keep it plain and natural. Add fruit or cinnamon for flavor instead. Mistake number 5, giving up too soon. This is the sneakiest trap of all. You might not feel a miracle in 3 days, and that's okay. Muscle protection is a marathon, not a sprint. Stick with it consistently for 4-6 weeks, and then look back. You'll notice you're steadier, stronger, and less sore than before. So, now that you know what not to do, let's talk about who should actually be cautious. Because while this ritual is safe for most people, there are certain conditions where you absolutely need your doctor's green light. Now, here's where I put on my clinician's hat. As powerful as this ritual is, it's not one size fits all. For some of you, caution is not optional, it's essential. First, if you have chronic kidney disease, you need to be especially careful. Your kidneys are responsible for filtering excess protein and regulating mineral levels like magnesium. Piling on too much without guidance could strain them. Always get your doctor's advice before raising your protein intake. Second, if you take heart medications, especially diuretics or digoxin, you need to know that magnesium can shift electrolyte balance. That doesn't mean you can't do this ritual, but it does mean your doctor should know, because dosage and timing may need to be adjusted. Third, watch out for allergies and intolerances. If dairy gives you bloating or discomfort, don't force down Greek yogurt. Switch to soy milk, lentils, or another protein source. The principle matters more than the exact food. And finally, be mindful of supplement overload. Many multivitamins already contain magnesium, and if you add a separate pill on top of that plus food, you could tip into excess. Remember, your body doesn't reward you for going beyond what it can use. The bottom line, for most healthy adults over 60, this nightly ritual is safe, effective, and simple. But if you fall into one of these groups, get your clinician on board before you begin. Better safe than sorry. With that said, let me show you how to take this ritual to the next level, because protein and magnesium work best when paired with movement. Think of it as turning on the ignition so the fuel you've just added can actually drive your muscles forward. Now, let's unlock the real secret. Protein and magnesium don't just sit there building muscle on their own. They need a signal, and that signal is movement. Without movement, your body has no reason to use those nutrients for strength. It just burns some for energy and stores the rest. Here's why. When you contract your muscles, even with light resistance, you activate satellite cells, tiny repair crews inside the fibers. These cells respond like radar dishes, picking up the amino acids from protein and the spark from magnesium, and then they start rebuilding stronger tissue. No exercise, the radar stays quiet. Even the best nutrition just drifts by unused. The evidence is crystal clear. Seniors who combine resistance training with protein gain up to 40% more strength and lean mass compared to protein alone. And the exercise doesn't have to be complicated. In fact, short bursts of targeted movement are often enough to flip that switch. Here's a simple bedtime strength snack you can do in under 5 minutes. Sit to stands, rise from a chair without using your hands, repeat 10 times. Wall push-ups, stand 2 feet from a wall, lean in and press out, repeat 12 times. Banded rows. With a light resistance band, pull back like you're rowing 10-12 times. That's it. 3 moves, no equipment beyond a band, and your muscles get the exact activation they need. Then, when you eat your protein plus magnesium ritual, the repair team knows exactly where to go. And here's the kicker. The synergy doesn't just improve muscle, it improves balance, reduces joint stiffness, and even enhances your sleep because your nervous system calms after light evening exercise. Think of it as turning your 2-minute food ritual into a full-body overnight upgrade. So now that you know the science and the movement amplifier, let's make it practical with real-world meal examples you can start using today. Now that you understand the power of protein and magnesium together, let me paint a picture of what this actually looks like in your daily meals. Because theory is nice, but you need a plate you can sit down to. Start strong with oats cooked in soy milk, topped with chia seeds and a spoonful of Greek yogurt that gives you steady protein, magnesium from the seeds, and energy that lasts into the afternoon. Picture a plate with salmon, leafy greens, and a scoop of quinoa. The salmon is rich in protein and omega-3 fats for your joints, while quinoa and greens bring in magnesium. Simple, balanced, and delicious. Here's where you keep things effortless. A small bowl of cottage cheese with a sprinkle of dark chocolate shavings. Yes, chocolate. You're not only getting slow digesting protein, you're also sneaking in magnesium while feeling like you're indulging. Classic and hearty grilled chicken breast with black beans and steamed broccoli. Protein, check. Magnesium, double check. And broccoli adds fiber that keeps your digestion moving smoothly. And then comes the star of the show, your nightly ritual. Maybe it's Greek yogurt with pumpkin seeds. Maybe it's a warm glass of soy milk with a handful of almonds. The combinations are endless, but the rule is simple. Make sure both protein and magnesium are present. Here's the best part. You don't need to overhaul your entire pantry. You just need to be intentional. Look at your plate and ask, where's my protein? Where's my magnesium? That one habit of checking before you eat can transform the strength of your muscles in just weeks. Now that you can picture your daily meals, let's zoom out and put this into a 30-day action plan you can follow step by step. All right, you've got the science, the foods, and the ritual. But knowledge without a plan is just information. So here's your 30-day action plan to actually put this into motion and keep it going until it becomes a natural habit. Step 1, track your protein for 3 days. Before you change anything, write down what you eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Don't judge, don't adjust, just track. This baseline will open your eyes to how much protein you're really getting and, more importantly, where the gaps are. Step 2, add magnesium at dinner every night. Pick one magnesium-rich food, black beans, spinach, almonds, or pumpkin seeds, and make it a non-negotiable part of your evening meal. This builds the foundation before your ritual even starts. Step 3, do the 2-minute nightly ritual for 30 days. This is the keystone. Choose your protein, add your magnesium partner, enjoy it 60-90 minutes before bed, and let your body handle the rest. It's not about perfection, it's about consistency. If you miss a night, don't quit. Pick up the next day. If you follow this plan, here's what usually happens. In the first 1-2 weeks, you notice fewer nighttime cramps and better sleep. By week 3, your legs feel stronger on daily walks. By week 4, you'll realize that simple movements like standing from a chair or carrying groceries feel smoother, lighter, and easier. That's your body telling you this works. Now, before we close, let's pull it all together into a recap and a motivation boost, because I want you to walk away with the conviction that you can do this starting tonight. Let's bring everything together. We started with the problem sarcopenia, the silent muscle loss that robs too many adults of independence after 60. We uncovered the two missing pieces: protein, your building blocks, and magnesium, the spark that makes those blocks useful. We connected the dots with the 2-minute nightly ritual, showed how movement amplifies the effect, and gave you meal examples and a 30-day plan. Here's the bottom line. Aging does not have to mean weakness. You can stay strong, steady, and confident if you give your muscles what they need consistently. It's not about expensive supplements. It's not about extreme diets. It's about small, powerful choices stacked together over time. So tonight, when you're getting ready for bed, don't just brush your teeth and turn out the lights. Add one more step. Give your muscles the nutrition they've been waiting for. In 2 minutes, you're investing in stronger legs, steadier balance, and a body that serves you well into your 72nd and 82nd. You are not too old. You are not too late. Your muscles are still listening, and with the right fuel, they will respond. Now, let me leave you with one final nudge. Don't just think about this. Do it tonight. Take that first step and prove to yourself that you can get stronger, starting right now. Now, I want to hear from you. Out of all the protein and magnesium combinations we talked about, which one are you going to try first tonight? Is it Greek yogurt with pumpkin seeds? Cottage cheese with dark chocolate? Or maybe a warm glass of soy milk with a handful of almonds? Comment below, and let's build a list of ideas we can all borrow from each other. And if you found this helpful, share it with a friend or family member who's also over 60 and wants to keep their legs strong and steady. You never know, the simple act of sharing could help someone avoid a fall, regain confidence in their strength, or finally start sleeping through the night without cramps. Make sure you subscribe, because next time we'll tackle another hidden trap: the 3 evening habits silently wrecking your joints, and I'll show you how to replace them with habits that heal instead. Remember, your health is built in small daily steps. Tonight, you already know which step to take.